Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this first gratitude morning session on Tuesday. The title of our session is Self-Appreciation Through Our Common Humanity. My name is May Al-Fartusi, and please forgive me for my shortcoming with technology, as this is really my first time with Facebook, and so I recorded this session, and I hope that this issue will be resolved for next week. So I would like to start first with introducing myself a little bit. I am a mother first of 4 lovely kids. Each child has a unique story. And I completed my master's degree and PhD in the area of education, and also postdoc research focusing on multicultural competence, identity development, and social justice. And spent many years researching and trying to understand minority experiences and their resilient skills, collecting stories from different cities and learning a lot from people coming from different backgrounds. So this really led me to be more interested in counseling psychology, to understand our inner selves. And this really where I feel I'm really honored to join the Attachment Trauma Center and have my practicum under the supervision of Mrs. Lori Gill. So thank you, Lori. So today in this short talk, I'm going to share with you some insights related to self-appreciation and how common humanity is this perspective that is really very important to think of when we think of gratitude. Like, no one can live in an island. We are all connected in many ways. Regardless of our backgrounds and where we are coming from, we share human attributes. And this is something that the more we try to delve deeply inside ourselves and try to think of this self within this perspective of common humanity, the more we are going to have this kind of peace. So what is self-appreciation through common humanity? And within this, I would like to acknowledge the work of Grams and Neffs. They really did a great work on mindfulness, self-compassion, and trying to connect the East with the West with all these lovely concepts and perspectives. So when we think of self-appreciation, the first thing that may come to your mind that this is something maybe related to appreciating myself. And it's true. It's trying to savor the positive qualities and the capacity to be aware of these positive qualities. But when we think of common humanity, this is where we try to think of how to make this looking at the positive qualities from holistic perspective. This is where we try to think of our positive qualities from those who contributed to these qualities, like who helped me to gain this quality of being generous, who contributed throughout my life in order to make me a caring person, or from where did I get this good quality. So when you try to think and try to associate your good qualities with those who contributed and with the many factors, whether from reading a book, whether from different experiences, and you try to acknowledge this will, you feel like you are going to have this positive cycle where you will keep on thinking of, I'm grateful for this person, I'm grateful for this person, I'm grateful for this experience. And the more you go into this positive cycle, the more you feel really relaxed, the more you feel that you are looking into a very you feel satisfied and content. And that's why I was thinking the first thing to share with you is to think of self-appreciation. And in some cultures, long time ago, like there's this kind of connecting the self and looking at self as a universe. We have the universe inside us, and I do not want to go deeply into this philosophical concept. That I look forward to share this more deeply in a session, in the upcoming sessions. So Now, for example, if I want to think of one positive quality for me, I can say caring. And then, who contributed to this quality? My mother, observing her raising us, my former elementary teacher who passed away and who taught me through her kindness how to really care about others, my experiences with many people that I met during my research throughout my 15 years, wandering in different cities and learning from these people about their patience and how they care about others. So it's really a lot of things and positive. And the more I dig deeply and I try to sense, it's not just thinking, it's also sensing these positive qualities, the more I really feel very relaxed, and I feel energy and more motivated to keep on equipping myself to think of more positive qualities. But something that I would like to encourage you to think of: did you notice when you started last week with the gratitude, and throughout all these gratitude exercises and practices, did you ever notice that when you think of listing the gratitude opportunities or things, usually we do not think of our positive qualities in this list. We try to look at the outside. We try to look more from the outside the environment. And sometimes it's really not easy to dig deeply inside ourselves. It's easy for us to receive and to focus on how to improve ourselves when we receive negative feedback. But sometimes we do not focus on the compliments. We do not focus on anything that can really attract our attention to this good side inside us. And that's why it's also a kind of inviting you to be more, to celebrate and to open this room where you can dig inside you and delve and think about how can you savor these deep positive qualities. So let's have together this kind of informal mindful practice where we can talk more about and experience exploring positive qualities inside us. So I want you to sit in a position where you feel relaxed and try to listen to the script that I'm going to share in a few minutes. And this script I borrowed from Grams and Neff's books that is related to self-compassion program, and I modified a little bit. So I hope you are going to enjoy this experience, and then we can reflect on how you look at and how did you find the process of discovering or exploring the positive qualities. Okay, let me just try to get the script. Yes, so please close your eyes and let your awareness drop into your body. Take a moment to think about 3 things you appreciate about yourself. The first few things that come up may be somehow superficial. See if you can open to what you really deep down like about yourself. You won't have to share this with anyone else. It's just for you. So relax and enjoy this experience. If you experience any uneasiness in this practice, please make some space for whatever you are feeling. Take deep breath. Inhale for 5 seconds. Hold. And then exhale. And let yourself be just as you are. Remember that you are not saying you always show these good qualities, or that you are better than others. You are simply acknowledging that this is true. Now please focus on one quality that you appreciate. How do you feel about this quality? Can you relate this quality to a color? Like red, orange, purple, green. Can you relate this quality to an image? What do you see in this image? What do you smell? Or what kind of smell can be related to this quality? And how do you feel about this? Now consider if there are any other people who helped you develop this good quality. Maybe your friend, parents, teachers, even authors of books who had positive impact on your life. And as you think of each positive influence, please send them some appreciation. Like, I'm grateful for my teacher. I'm grateful for my mother. We honor ourselves. We also honor those who have helped nurture us. Let yourself savor, just for this moment, feeling good about yourself. Let it soak in. So open your eyes, and now if you feel comfortable to share and message me with your feeling, if you feel comfortable. And as you can see, yes, I'm going to respond to the messages. This is really a small practice to invite us to be kind and easy with ourselves. And as you can see, it's not trying more to, when we think of these positive qualities, to compare with others. And it's really more, or thinking of how to be perfect. Because it's not the purpose of all this. It's more to feel more connected to others, at the same time to see how you have very many good qualities, and it's a kind of how the gratitude can play this important role in developing this positive sense inside us. So I really hope that when we try to think of this inner universe inside us, we can feel that each time we can explore something new. Sometimes we are aware of, and sometimes we need to a little bit open this door or remove the layers in order to enjoy and try to feel and sense the meaning of this good quality. Like sometimes it's similar to when you try to recognize the small things around you that sometimes you take them for granted. And the more you try to think, for example, of I always have in my living room these pictures, but when I think of, for example, why this piece that you see here, this is a piece that's done by my daughter, and when I look at this piece just every day, and I do not acknowledge that there is a story behind this piece, a lot of hard work, a lot of experiences, a lot of moments where I experienced being a mother, running here and there and trying to help out my daughter. So it's not just this picture. There are more things And when we think that with each positive quality, there is a story, and this story is related to another story that is to someone or to an experience, the more we feel really more activated and we feel more connected. And this is where we feel we have this gratitude, and this is how we appreciate gratitude. Story is really a very powerful tool. Story is very empowering in many cultures, where many new concepts, the abstract concepts that sometimes hard to tackle and understand, through stories we feel we can connect and we can learn new concepts. But why? When we think of story, there's this part where we can activate the right side of our brain and the left side of our brain. Because when you tell the story, you try to sense the experiences. The storyteller try to describe, try to let you feel, imagine, see, sense, touch, and this really activates the right side of your brain. And when it comes to making sense of these experiences and trying to interpret them, then the left side, where you have your logic, will start to be activated. The story is really a very powerful area where you feel it provides an opportunity for having this integrative model, and where you feel active and where you feel you can sense, and at the same time you can interpret the experiences. So I really would like to encourage you, like for example, to spend some times and try to read short stories, for example, before you go to bed. It's like when we were children and we used to love these bedtime stories with our grandparents and with our parents, and these moments, they still inside us, and we feel something different when we try to think of story time. And even in the school, you see that in many grades, story time and telling story, even in university setting, is always the area and is always an opportunity where you feel more engaged. So when I found this is really, and I'm sure that many of you is familiar with this story, but I really found that this is related to what we are talking about when we think of how sometimes we can take things for granted and we are not aware to pause and contemplate and think. For example, this story of I'm going to write the link to this story, and it's the giving tree story. I heard this story a long time ago when I was a child, and this really, although it's a little bit maybe sad, but at the same time, I learned a big lesson and how not to take things for granted. Like when someone is giving me everything, sometimes it's just we get used to this and this is normal, and we are not aware that there are a lot of efforts, a lot of sacrifices. And this is similar when you want to think about yourself. Sometimes you gain positive quality, but this is really with a lot of work, with a lot of efforts, experiences, sacrifices from other people who really care about you. And then you feel that you just take it for granted and you are not aware how to need to celebrate this positive quality. So with the gratitude, you are not just celebrating your positive quality and the self, you are also celebrating these moments. You are celebrating those people who were always with you at the time and throughout your life, where you gain some of these qualities. So in this story, where you can go and listen to it, it's very short. It's like a bedtime story for kids, but sometimes we really miss these moments when we were children. You can, I'm going just to share the summary of the story. The story starts with a boy and his BFF, who just happens to be a tree. Every day the boy climbs the tree, eats the tree's apples, and sleeps in the tree's shade. And while you think, or while I'm saying these words, just try to imagine where you can see this little boy near a nice green tree and eating apples, jumping, sleeping. And both the boys and the tree are happy with this arrangement where the tree is always giving to the boy. But as the boy ages, his needs change. Each time the boy visits, the tree gives him everything she can, including all her branches and her trunk. Reduced to a stump, the tree does not think she has anything left to give when the boy returns once again, this time as an old man. But it turns out a stump is just what he really needs to sit down and get a little rest. So he does, and the tree was really happy. So you can see that it's really every one of us has a tree. And sometimes this tree is inside us and it's filled with branches and leaves and a lot of fruits. It's just how we need to pause and contemplate and think and sense these qualities and gratitude, and thinking of this common humanity concept can be really very helpful when we think of our self-appreciation. I really hope you enjoyed this morning session today. And for me, the take-home message is how we take things for granted, and we need to pause and contemplate. And I'm a person who's not experienced with mindfulness. I have different ways of understanding mindfulness, and it's more with the spiritual components. But there's something that I learned throughout my study in mindfulness and trying to find some common themes that they are related to me, because sometimes you learn more when it's authentic to you, when it makes sense to you. So for me, gratitude is a concept that I was raised up with, always saying thank you, thank you, thank you, or even thanking and appreciating the creator. But at the same time, I learned really, like since last week and throughout my studies, that this pause is what we really need, regardless whether it's this meditation or this mindfulness. It's this culture of pause where you can stop and where you can live the present moment, and where you can feel, where you can sense everything around you and you appreciate it. And this is something that I feel the gratitude is really very helpful, because for example, when you think of your positive qualities, you need to stop, you need to pause, you need to contemplate, and this really lets you more slow down. And when you slow down, this will open opportunity for you to savor many things, to savor the external surroundings, your internal, and more opportunities to connect your internal with the external environment. So I really hope that we can really appreciate the pause moment and enjoy this process. Please try to check for the 12:30 break and the 4:31, and I really look forward for the evening session with you. Take care and stay strong.